Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special guest today. What is your name again? I forgot. No. I remember.
I got so many names.
Welcome to Astonished, ladies and gentlemen, the podcast where we talk about life's life. We have Lieutenant David Todd in here today. He's a personal friend of mine, and I'm very, very happy to finally get him in here. He's been asking me to come over and play guitar and stuff like that.
I have.
You have, but, I love to disappoint. Just ask my wife, okay?
Hey, I'm married too. I understand.
Yeah. It's a no-win.
No, it's not a win at all.
Have you ever listened to Tom Likas?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what he says all the time? He's like, when guys get married, they win nothing. You know, you're going to give half your stuff away if you don't put up with their crap. That's the penalty that you pay. And he's got a great idea. He said to get divorced for a man, it's about $10,000. And he said to get married is about $85,000 plus the 2 months of payment for the ring.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got an idea. He said it should cost $10,000 to get married and then $85,000 to have it dissolved. What do you think?
That's a hindsight 2022. I don't know about that one.
Now, well, if I'm asking any questions that are going to get you in trouble, it's just part of the program. Wink, wink.
Hey, I was always told that once you say I do means I don't do that no more.
Right.
I learned that right off the bat.
I do. I don't do that no more. It's that simple.
Yeah. If you want to do anything, you have to take them out into the woods with some deep woods off. That's out of or being nice, and some duct tape and just tie them to a tree.
That's true. I wonder how that tastes.
I can't answer that one because then that one might get me in trouble.
Right. So you gotta tell everybody out there, where are you from originally?
I am originally from Kansas City, Kansas.
I
was actually born on the Kansas side of there, and I lived there until about 8 years old, I think. And then my mom and dad decided we're just going to go from Wyandotte County, and if anybody's listening and knows Wyandotte County, that is the ghetto of the ghetto in Kansas.
So you go from the ghetto, to completely rural.
Oh, so when I moved out of there, I moved to a little town in Hartville, Missouri. Population 500 at that time.
Civil War. A lot of history there.
A ton of history there. There was a big battle there. Actually, if you go there, they actually still hold a thing every so often where they set off the cannons and everything. And if you look on top, there's called the Steel Mansion. Excuse me. The Steel Mansion's still up and going, and they do tours and all kinds of stuff. So as far as history goes, it's rich in history.
Right. Well, I kind of feel good about growing up in this area. I mean, you hear people literally talk about they're doing hay and they'll find a Civil War ball, or a cannonball. So you have the two extremes. You go from I better strap down my car, or it's gone.
Yeah, literally.
To the cars are useless. I need a 4-wheel drive everywhere I go.
Yeah. It's total. I'm gonna tell you, when I first left Kansas City and came down here, first day of school, these kids were wearing bibbed overalls, and I just thought, what in the hell have I got myself into? I literally peed my pants and made my mom come get me. I was so scared.
Wow.
That is the honest God's truth.
Now that's some honesty, okay?
I didn't know what to think of these people. And the funny thing is so I grew up, in the city, but then I got down here, and I ended up falling in love with it. Well, then I met my wife, and she's from a small town of Kabul.
Even smaller,
but she was born and raised.
Wow.
And so that's all she knows. So the first time we ever take her to Kansas City, me and my family went up to actually go visit my uncle for his 50th birthday. And we get up there, and she's already nervous. She's like, oh, yeah, well, I've been to Overland Park and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is the ghetto. This ain't the rich part of town.
Yeah.
I mean, they will steal you blind here. So we're there like 15, 20 minutes. It ain't there very long. And you hear pop, pop, pop. And she's just like, what was that? And we all kind of looked at her in a funny way, and we're like, oh, give it 5-10 minutes. If we hear the sirens and somebody got shot.
Right.
And she's dead serious. Ow. No, I said, oh, yeah, somebody's probably dead. And then lo and behold, here they come. And then she just kind of looks at me and goes, please tell me you've got a gun with you. I said, everybody in the house has one.
You have to. I mean, okay, so up there it's survival. Down here it's survival, but for different reasons.
It is. I'm not racist at all.
Right.
But growing up in Kansas City, I kind of I'm a little more apt to watch people.
Right.
Just because up there is way different than here. Here, it's some good old boys.
Well, there's some certain dichotomies between people, especially in impoverished areas, where they start sticking together. And if you're the, it's just real. It's realism. It's truth. If you happen to be the wrong color, and I don't care what color it is, in the wrong area, you're in big trouble.
That is very, very true. It didn't matter if you was in a black neighborhood or a Mexican neighborhood or even just the plain white people. I mean, you literally had to kind of stick with your own group in that area at that time. This was in the 80s, though, 80s and 90s. So, I mean, things have changed. But, yeah, you watched yourself. I hated going to the store.
That sucks. I mean, that really sucks. But, you come down here, and it's weird. You wouldn't think that southern Missouri, that you would have this group of people that everybody seemed like they get along here for the most part. There are some old-timers that are still stuck in their ways, but we have pretty much every color person you could imagine lives in this area, and they're happy here. Have you noticed that?
I have, and actually that's only something that I've noticed in the last, say, 10 years. To be honest with you, I've been in Mountain Grove for about 22 years, and it wasn't quite the same then. And it's only been in the last 5 to 10 years that we've actually had a diversity of different people coming in, and it's really cool. I mean, everybody seems to get along really well. We've got an open door policy here. You break down somewhere, and a farmer's going to help you out. They're just going to, hey, how do you need help?
Absolutely.
It's a good giving back. And I'll tell you this much. I can tell you for a fact that this community in itself is the most giving community I've ever seen in my life.
There's a lot of giving.
A couple little scenarios. If anybody remembers the flooding in Galveston, Texas, a couple of years ago.
Yep.
On the fire department, I just felt like, well, my family, I've got family down there, my little brother is, and he was telling me how bad it was. Luckily, he was okay, so, I mean, didn't have to worry about him, but he's like, man, I'm telling you what, it's bad here. I said, okay, let me see what I can do. So I run our fire department Facebook page, and so I just kind of threw it out there, hey, I'm going to be going down there myself. Anybody want to donate anything? They need food, diapers, anything that's a commodity that they need. Well, within, I think, 48 hours, we had a 32-foot gooseneck trailer plumb full with walls built up on it.
That's crazy.
And it was
that
crazy.
Is awesome.
Yeah, and then I had people coming up saying, well, we're going to pay for your gas. You're doing this, we're going to pay for your gas. That's how fast this community came in together.
Right. Well, so, I mean, the school here has some buildings that are, state-of-the-art buildings. Mm-hmm. And most of that came from private donations to the school.
Oh, yeah. People supply it here.
It's weird. I mean, it's really weird. However, we have another side to this area that I never experienced before in my life, and I'm sure you're the same coming, from Kansas, is old money and marrying well. Did you even hear those terms before you ever moved down here?
Before I moved down here? Now, maybe it's young, but no. I didn't know what that kind of stuff was.
Well, down here, it's a real thing.
Oh, it is, very much so. If you don't marry the right name or that farmer that's been around here for generations, you're in trouble.
Right, and they get the deals when it comes to land. They get the deals when it comes to business. They get massaged. We got a little bit of a different thing going on here in the last 2 years than we've had forever.
It's harder for a new farmer to get established than it is a young kid coming straight out of school that's got a family that's been running it for a long time.
Absolutely.
I mean, their foot's already in the door. They've got the equipment. They've got the land. They've got everything. They've got everything stock market-wise bought up.
Right. So, I mean, if you take your life, you come down here, did you think that you were going to stay here?
No, I did not at all. Actually, believe it or not, when I turned 18 and graduated, my whole idea was to go back to Kansas City. I really wanted to go back home because I'd lost my dad when I was only 14 years old. I hated the country life at that point in time. And so my thought was I was going to come to Mountain Grove for a summer, build up some money, and then move back to Kansas.
And what happened?
I don't know. I had a new outlook on life. I was quiet in high school. I didn't like the country kids. Well, then I met up with some kids here that were about my age, and they skateboarded. They was kind of into the thing that I was into. And so we kind of just started being really good friends, moved in with them, and then the rest is history. I fell in love with the area. I got back into hunting, my longtime love, and now you couldn't pay me enough money to go back to Kansas.
Well, you are a professional hunter now.
I use that word very loosely. I have been on some teams, and have done that thing for the last couple of years. But
well, you see, here's the difference. And this is the way that it is in podcasting, radio, hunting, car racing, football. If you have been paid or have been, what do they call it when they give you stuff?
Sponsored.
Sponsored. if you've been paid or sponsored, you are now a professional.
That is true. And I guess in that aspect, you could look at it as, yeah, I've been sponsored, so I guess I could say that I was professional. It's only here recently that I stepped away from that and my own reasons.
Right.
I hate the sponsored world in a way. I'm totally for it. Don't get me wrong. I love watching TV and seeing guys hunting and all that stuff. But I learned something about myself about it that I don't like sponsorship.
Right. Well, it's very tricky. Okay. Here's the thing, folks. And I've had it here. People have sent me microphones. Try it out. Okay, I try it out. I send them. Here's the thing with the microphone companies. They usually, not all the time, usually want you to send them your podcast or your review before you put it out there. And I, unfortunately, have the propensity to tell the truth if a microphone sucks.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
No, they're not. They want you to use it even if you don't like it.
Right. Well, and me and you talked about this a little bit. You're a very ethical hunter.
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, and I want to talk more about this, but you live a very ethical lifestyle.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
And I think that a lot of it comes down to hunting. Like, your job is what?
A firefighter.
Well,
that's my actual
two
trade.
jobs, right?
Yeah.
Your trade is you're a lieutenant on the fire department.
Yes.
Okay. You deal with crazy tragedy and occasionally get something good.
Yes.
And then on the other side of that, you're kind of a professional, but ultimate hobbyist / professional hunter.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say, because this does it to me, being in the woods rejuvenates me.
Yeah, very much so. That's my time to get away from everything. I don't have my phone on. I don't have nobody bother me. I can reflect on everything, and it's just peaceful.
See, I love church, but the outdoors is a sort of church for me.
Yes.
I'll tell you, every guy out there that has ever deer hunted knows this. You wait all frickin' year for opening morning. You don't care if it's 0. You don't care if it's raining. You don't care what it is because you're out there, you're in your element, and it's like this carnal knowledge starts coming back to you.
Everything comes back. Man, I can't even sleep the night before. That is honestly, I'll get everything prepped up. It's all packed up there and ready to go. I'll do a couple pictures and all ready for the excitement. I go to bed, can't sleep a wink.
Right. So, yeah, I'm going to bed early tonight because I'm going to be up at 4. I'm going to have my coffee ready. And then, when you're younger, you always forget something. Your deer drag or, something that you put somewhere you're not going to forget.
Yeah.
As you get older, I think that you make things simpler so you don't forget that stuff.
Yeah.
My
brother laughed at me a couple years ago and was like, "You have a list." I said, "Yeah, because I don't want to forget stuff." And, nothing sucks worse than getting out there, getting all set up, and you forgot one little thing.
Right. Well, you get out there, you're doing hunting, so you have a wonderful family, great wife. Great daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to pick the right words here. To get to that point, there's been struggles.
Oh, yeah. There's been plenty of struggles. Anybody that says they've not had struggles is just flat out lying to you.
Oh, they're assholes.
I mean, yeah.
If they tell you that they didn't struggle, they're lying to you, and it's usually probably because they're ashamed of their struggle.
Yeah, that's very true. And me and my wife was talking about it the other day to my daughter. We try to provide her a nice life. We're trying to give her something that we never had. So, yeah, we have one child, so we do tend to spoil her a little bit. Not going to lie. I mean, I just went to Springfield today just to get her stuff.
That is awesome, by the way.
But at the same time, I try to teach her, when me and Mom got together, I remember a time when we were so freaking poor, we had to get in the couch and get change, just go get a pack of cigarettes. Now, we don't smoke anymore, but we had to do that. In fact, we couldn't take the car because we was afraid to use the gas.
Been there, done that.
So, I mean, yeah, that's where we was. I'm not ashamed of it either, though. That's how it was. Now, yeah, we got money in the bank. We bought our own house. We're doing okay. We're not rich by any means.
No, but I would say you're living the life.
We are living the life.
You go hunting, maybe not as often as you'd want to, but you do well enough that, hey, I can take off opening weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And your wife does the same. I mean, if she wants something, she gets it pretty much within reason. I mean, you got a Harley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so family, Harley, own your home. You work on the fire department, which I think is every young boy's dream.
It is. Well, you don't think about that. When I was in high school, I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. But as my mom always said it, you had an ability to always help people.
Right.
And that's where that came from. And getting on the fire department, I started as a volunteer. I literally